welcome back. You might wonder why I'm dressed more as if I'm going fishing in the North Sea than doing a bit of vegetable gardening in the middle of July, but that is the kind of weather that we've been having. It is crap. It's cold, it's wet, really wet, it's miserable. We've had really low temperatures of like 15 degrees during the day, down as low as 5 or 6 at night time. We've had 2 days over the past while where we've had a little bit of sunshine. Actually, luckily it was Saturday and Sunday of last weekend. But yeah, the weather generally speaking is not great. I'd been holding off on making another diary entry until the weather cleared up, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. So I said I'd get cracking and just record something. I'm in the greenhouse at the moment, so we'll have a quick look around in here and then we'll head out to the garden. So I'm at the top of the greenhouse here. I'm going to get in really quickly because it's still piddling rain. And welcome to the jungle. As you can see, my tomato plants have gone a bit mad, but that's quite alright. Getting a little bit stressed there, I've just noticed, so could be needing a bit of a feed, but most of them are looking really healthy. I know they're very bushy, and I know a lot of people would prune a lot more vigorously than I would. But I've never had problems growing them like this before. Now, I've never grown them in quite this volume before. I've grown maybe a few plants, but no problems so far. Most of them are looking absolutely fine. No sign of anything dodgy. Lots of nice little baby tomatoes all over the place. Actually, I think almost all of them have tomatoes on them. And definitely all of them have flowers. So that's great. We'll definitely get some tomatoes. And then down here, I don't actually really have anything in here at the moment, with the exception of a bit of rosemary that's just poking up, and some dead tomato plants, which I just didn't have room for. And with lockdown, I wasn't in a position to go offering them to people, so but that's alright. My garlic is drying out in here, which is great. It's one of the only places that anything can actually dry out a little bit. And then on this side, I've put in these wooden, what do you call them, pieces, that to retain a bit of compost, and I've actually planted this side up now as well. So over here we've got some chilies and peppers and things, which I'm doubtful I'm going to get anything off, because realistically we're very late in the year for that, and the weather's not great, so you know, they're not getting the heat that they would need to grow really rapidly. So then down here I've got some aubergine plants. That one's been nibbled on by something. I saw a moth in here the other day. Maybe he's got some caterpillars laid or something, but I wouldn't be too worried about that. It's only a tiny bit. Could be a slug either, who knows. Oh, just seen some volunteer tomatoes in the back there. Didn't plant any of them. They're probably from long ago. And then over here, more aubergines. This is a pepper plant that went in at the same time as this pepper plant. Wonders never cease. Like, they're literally the same age. Oh well. Here I have my melon plants, which are growing nicely. Again, even in the greenhouse, I don't know if we're going to have the temperatures required for these. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. Plenty of flowers on them anyway, which is nice. No baby fruits as yet. And then over here, a few cucumbers. And they're already got some babies on them. So at least we'll get some cucumbers. I grew these cucumbers last year and they were brilliant. Got about 40 of them off just 2 plants, which I just thought was, oh, the size of that fella. Cool. I must prop him up on something so that he doesn't rot. But yeah, that's the greenhouse, so yeah, not too bad. We'll head outside now. Just outside the greenhouse I have this lovely pot which I have carrots in, and they're really lovely. I really like these. Oh, look at the foliage on that. Wow, that's so cool. These are purple carrots, which is why I would say some of the foliage is turning purple. as the plants themselves kind of turn purple, or the roots. I'll pull one out and see what happens. It's only a little baby one. But look at that. That is just gorgeous. That's one of the smaller ones too. I'd say there might be some bigger ones in there. That looks like a decent sized one too. I won't pull too many now because... Oh! Whoa! Oh wow! Look at that! How pretty is that? And you can't even see the depth of the colour on the camera, but up this end is really purple. They're so cool. I like them. I think they're purple haze. I think that's the name of them. But I could be wrong. I really should look that up. They're amazing. If you saw my last couple of videos, you'll know that my carrot bed got trampled by the horses. So I was delighted to have a few of these in here that were saved, spared that fate. We'll head back out to the garden now. Before we make it all the way out to the garden, I'll just take a quick pit stop at this red currant bush here, which really strangely doesn't really grow any leaves. It only literally grows like a couple of leaves at the end every year, but I get loads and loads of bread currants off it. Now the birds have stripped pretty much all of them at this stage, but I don't mind that. Yeah, really weird. It doesn't seem to grow leaves, but it grows plenty of red currants. Maybe it's a bit too big for its pot. As I've said before though, this area here will hopefully next year be my fruit orchard. So there'll be plenty of space for lots and lots of red currant bushes and raspberries and fruit trees and all kinds of lovely things. My heap has really gone down because we've got most of the beds built at this stage. Still a couple more to go. But look at these beauties. Aren't they lovely? They just popped up out of it. Obviously the seeds were in it. And this, whatever that is. Yeah, a lot of weeds came in with that, unfortunately. But sure, that's next year's problem. Over to the garden now. And we'll start off with the leek bed. Haven't been able to cut the grass because it's just so wet. But we're doing okay. Kind of keeping on top of it with a bit of hoeing, and we haven't had too much problem with slugs, which is really good, because otherwise this grass would be a serious problem and I'd be looking at some kind of a bark mulch situation to kind of sort it out. But yeah, the slugs haven't been too big of a problem, so I'm not letting it bother me very much. The leeks are starting to grow like the clappers, which is lovely. You can still see obviously the ones that I sowed separate after the horses dug the holes in the bed haven't really come up, so I think I'll plant something else in there. I have a couple of things, I have a couple of seed trays at the moment in the garden that have a few things growing in them. I might fill that spot in there. My squashes and my pumpkins are doing really lovely. Look at those leaves, the size of them. I was a little bit worried about them because the weather hasn't been great. It's been like, it's been very cold, which they'd love it if it was warm and wet, but it's cold and wet. So I was a bit worried, but there are some pretty impressive baby pumpkins starting. Look at that. Which is just great. And plenty more flowers in there too. And then that's obviously a different one to this one, because this is a much bushier looking one. But again, if we look closely, see in there, where is it? Just there. Where is it? Just there is a baby squash. And then the beans, not doing great, not really warm enough. They're struggling a little bit. Very yellow. Some nice nettles growing up in between them, but they're struggling to get anything from the soil. And then this fella over here, my pathetic one, starting to send out runners. I did discover that down here the horses had obviously stepped on it that time. So, you know, it did well to survive it all, really. My turnips growing away, Swedes as they're known in other places. And then I shoved some celery in here where the other squash had met its end. I shoved in, again, look, beans not doing great, but the celery loves the wet weather. They're a bog plant, so they're delighted with life. And then check that monster out. Look at the size of it. That's so cool. That's my crown prince squash. It's massive. Some of the leaves not looking great, but like, it's doing really well in this weather considering. Lots of male flowers in there. Can't see any females in there, but... Oh, hang on. There's a female. And I thought I saw one along here. Oh, yeah, that one. That's gone yellow already, so that's not going to take. But, you know, that was the first one, so I wouldn't be too worried. And I've got some more beans. These ones are doing better. They're the dwarf purple teepee beans. They're doing better than the borlottis. My courgettes are a bit pathetic. It's just not warm enough for them. Zucchini, as they're called in other places, it's just not warm enough for them. I mean, I won't get anything off them, but sure, I'll leave them for the time being. I've nothing else to put in there at the moment anyway. The peas, on the other hand, are like a jungle. Look at them. They're amazing. They're just, I think they're so ornamental, do you know? And, peas! Oh, I have to, hang on. Delicious. The crunch off them. I'm gonna have to come out here with my basket. Got some peas for the dinner tomorrow. Yum. Broad beans. Not doing too bad at all. See some beans in there. I want to harvest these for the beans, not for the pods. So they will have to get nice and fat on the actual plant, but they're doing lovely. Doing really nicely. And my old favourites, these lads are just getting bigger and bigger. My Jerusalem artichokes. Again, a little bit of damage from the the rain. It's a bit miserable for them, but they're doing okay. The new growth is very healthy, so I'm not worried about it being any kind of a disease or anything like that. I think it's literally just they're wind burnt. Hello, little friend. And then over here, my parsnips, which again, this bed was only redone not so long ago. So they're not doing too bad. The carrots are certainly doing well. A little bit of patchy germination with the parsnips, but that is quite alright. I sowed them thinly anyway because I didn't want to have to go thinning. The carrots are doing nice, as are the weeds. And then down here, some turnips, which I'm planning on... What is that doing in there? Oh, nice hiding place for the slugs. Ooh, look! Some lovely turnips in here. I'm planning on having some ribeye steaks with some turnip gratin for dinner tonight. I think that is going to be delicious. It's a gorgeous way to eat turnips, is gratin. Thinly sliced and cooked in cream. Oh, won't be having that one for dinner anyway. That's a bit of a disaster. That's another nice one. That's not great, but still workable. This little tiny fella. No, that's rubbish as well. Let's see how the last one is. Oh yes. Now, they will make a delicious gratin this evening. Yum yum yum. And some of the carrots that were underneath them have actually survived, so that's good. I harvested my garlic from down here already. That's the ones that are in the greenhouse. My red onions, they're not great at all. Really not great. I don't know what's wrong with them. I think they're confused by all this weird weather, like drought for a month, hot temperatures way too early in the year, and then just constant rain and crappy low temperatures since then. I think I gave them a feed in the hopes that maybe that was what the problem was, but all that did was feed the weeds. A few of them are growing nicely. Oh, these lads are white ones actually. The white onions are doing great. They will get a nice harvest of white onions anyway. Look at those, looking lovely. The pink ones, even more pathetic than the red ones. I don't know. Maybe I should cut my losses and just pull them out and put something else in. I might do some, oh, it's really bucketing down. I might do some Japanese onions that you sow in the late half of the year and then overwinter them for next year. So I've ordered a few of them, I think. These are the white ones as well, I think. They're looking quite well. And then look at my spuds. Oh, they're amazing. These are my main crop. They're Satanta, which is an Irish variety. Which is designed, well not designed, but bred for blight resistance. Obviously with this kind of weather we have problems with blight. These are my first and second earlies, which I was pulling up the other day, and there was a lot of teeny tiny baby ones there. So I decided to leave them. I mean, what harm? I've nothing else to put in there in the moment anyway. So, yeah. And then my cabbages, growing like the clappers. Not all cabbages, of course. Some of them are cauliflowers and Romanescos and that kind of thing. Mr. Peter Rabbit got in over there and killed one of them. So I've said this 100 times, but I really have to put the nets on this, like now. I think I'll do that tomorrow. I was planning on doing it today, but the weather's just so bloody crap. Some more red cabbages over there, a little bit of slug damage, but I wouldn't be too worried about that. I'm going to get in there and clean some of them yellowing leaves out, so the slugs don't really have anywhere to hide. My cheeky curry squashes, again struggling because of the crappy weather. Gonna pull some of these. Oh, they're not doing well at all. They're nearly rotten in the ground. I'll give them a while longer. You never know, if we get a decent spell of weather, which Lord knows we're due, just pull these off because they're not doing anybody any good. Yeah, you never know, they might bounce back. Then in here we've got the lovely kohlrabi, which should be getting towards some kind of bulbing action. Yeah, look. Haha, that's so cool, they're starting to bulb up. Not so much over here. There's another one in there. Cool. They'll be interesting. I've never eaten them before. Apparently they're somewhere between a cabbage and a turnip. Who knew? Then my purple sprouting broccoli and my whatever they are. Still haven't figured it out. Then down here are my Swedes, which would be great in the winter time. And there's some, what are they? Oh yeah, some celeriac in there. And then this is my madness bed, which has the oca, which actually really likes this weather. I'd have thought oca needed a bit warm weather, but since the wet and the cool weather has come in, they've just taken off. Just fantastic. My kale, I'm harvesting away on the kale, getting loads of dinners. Much to Colin's disgust, because he's not a big fan. But I'm cooking it up with some garlic and lemon and stuff, and it's nice, and it's so good for you. And it's free when you grow it in your garden. And then, what are you? That's some kind of something. Maybe a cauliflower? I know I put some cauliflower in here. There's a red cabbage randomly. Some beetroot. The beetroot in the other bed are all... Oh wow, look at that. Oh! Ho-ho! We're having beetroot tonight, lads. Let's see if I can't get another one. That's that Chioggia beetroot. It's really nice. I like it. I really do like it. It's Not as strong as some other beetroots. Let's see, is there another one here? Oh yes! Look at that. Delicious. It's not a strong beetrooty flavour as some of the other ones. Haven't had any of the bull's blood yet, it's very slow. I'll definitely grow more of this in future. And it's so pretty when you cut into it, it's like a bullseye. It's really cool. So we'll go up here and have a quick look back at the whole garden. I'm really happy with it. It's definitely not perfect. But you know, which of us are? Really pleased with it. We've had some losses and some things that have done well that I haven't thought would do well, but we're starting to get to eat out of it now, which that's the main thing. Now if this rain will just go away for a couple of days, I'd be a happy bunny. Thanks for watching. I've just headed up to the compost bins to leave this foliage out here. Look at these beauties. They're everywhere. Look at them. So all that wet weather gets you. Look at those. That is one of the most commonly way people dispose of horse manure in Ireland, in big yards and stuff, is sell them to the mushroom man. You can see why. How cool are they? Must find out if they're edible. Something a bit gross about eating something that literally has grown out of a pile of poo, but cool. Look at that one. So perfect.